Hello, I am Will Stockrock, and this is Let's Play Total Annihilation. Last we left off, we have just entered the gate to Thalassan. Let's go ahead and load that up. Load game, we were after 5.
Following through the core gate, the armed commander made a bold counterattack on the core outpost from which the invasion of Imperion had been launched. Thalassan, a windy planet largely covered by water, had been captured by the core quite recently. Core forces there were unprepared for the sudden appearance of an armed commander in their midst.
Alright, this is not an easy mission. It's quite hard. I've played through it twice just to make it seem as easy as possible, but it is a difficult mission. You are on a very small island, and you're periodically assaulted by long-range units that completely destroy your infrastructure, and so it's really not fun. So let's go ahead and start this real quick. Alright, and I'm going to talk real quick. You don't want to use a D-gun because you need to reclaim this metal. Also, all this underbrush will catch fire as soon as you hit it, and you do want it to burn now as opposed to burn later. But for now, you don't use D-gun because you're going to need that energy. So let's go ahead and start and resume. And just let him destroy the units. Once again, this stuff will catch fire, and you kind of want it to catch fire. Go ahead, let it catch fire. I'm going to go ahead and capture this. There will be some searchers in the ports. You can D-gun them. Alright, first thing we're going to need is plenty of energy, just because these will later get destroyed. Your island is basically in the shape of a crescent moon, and basically as soon as you start, I mean, you will just be completely obliterated. The thing about the island is that it's tricky because there's no safe place to build most of your units. You're also quite limited by various other factors. We'll talk about them in just a second. Okay. Die. Sorry, my throat's very dry, and I apologize for that. You know what? One of the odd things about this particular mission, or a lot of these missions, the base building missions, I would state, is that how you start it really matters. If you don't start it just right, you're going to be struggling. It's one of those things where just a little bit of investment really does pay off. All right, this is your shipyard. You're going to have to build a lot of things from it. Let me tell you, there are also 2 other metal extractors besides these 3. On the bottom part of the island, I'm going to go ahead and build a constructor unit, and I'm going to switch my orders to hold fire. There are 2 other AKs at the bottom of this island that I want to basically reclaim to boost my metal. There's one of them. While I'm here, let's go to build that. Don't worry about building solar panels right now. I'm actually pretty good with energy, and I'm going to show you why you don't want to build solar panels in a second. The other AK is right here. Go ahead and reclaim him. And start building your other... Wait, where do you... There he is. Scared me there for a second. Hydroelectric... what are these? Total generators actually will give you a very good amount of energy, and you will want to produce them. I'm going to go ahead and place one... Actually, I've never really needed a torpedo launcher anywhere except near the front. So I'm just going to go build one kind of right here with a sonar right here. Okay, Commander, let's go here and build your last metal maker, or not metal maker, metal extractor. Alright. While all this is happening, I'm going to want to come up here, reclaim that particular tree. I'm going to go ahead and get started on Crusaders. And this is one of those missions, like I said before, where you're going to get hit pretty often. You will be low on metal for most of the mission. Just no 2 ways about that. This thing is using, if you can, I can't really move my mouse that you can see it, but on the bottom it says nanolathing -6 metal, and you will be losing metal for a fair amount of this mission. Okay, now that we got that, we're going to build a K-Bot lab. The reason I want a K-Bot lab is that I want to use its constructor to build naval defenses, specifically Guardians, which are artillery pieces. Fixed artillery pieces, but actually really good artillery pieces. Oh, shoot. You can do it. Okay. These construction bots are just stupidly weak. You can already see there's a unit up there. What I want to do for this guy is I kind of want to clear a path. Luckily, D-gun does that. I can also reclaim. Okay, now that I got a path there, I'm going to send my commander up. Alright, and I'm going to build a Guardian right here. I'm going to follow that up with a radar tower right here. Actually, yeah, that works. While he's doing that... No, my energy is actually really good. You want to keep this construction bot around because... Who's that? Okay. I'm just going to reclaim him. I'm going to send him out there all by his lonesome, and I'm going to reclaim him. That's really the only way to do it. Now, you can't do this with subs, because subs have torpedoes, and torpedoes have a high damage value on them. Okay, I'm losing metal, which is okay. I'd be rather disturbed if I wasn't, because then I would feel like I wasn't using all my metal. All right, I'm going to go ahead and reclaim these leftover AKs. Not much metal to give to them, but they give sufficient amounts. While all this is happening, I'm going to send my constructor K-Bot up here, and then I have him guard this lab so that it continually produces units. Once again, you want to get those units out very quickly. My commander was having a hard time. There's a sub that goes back and forth here, and you can't use your D-gun on it because it's underwater, and it just gets annoying. Okay, he's going to have trouble getting there. Can you get to it? Yeah, he got to it. Okay, in a second, not too far down the road, there's going to be naval ships coming up and down that lane, and they are just going to pulverize you, and they will destroy most of what you've already built. It's annoying, but it's just one of those things that's just going to happen, or just happens because of the way this is set up. Already you can see that there are some units coming along the sides. I do want to protect this while it's being built. I'm going to send my guys up front. Okay, they aren't attacking just yet. I want my commander to go ahead and clear a path for my constructor Kabot once it's fully built. I mean, once it's done with its first Guardian. It's getting close to done. So this is a, I know this sounds very hurried and rushed, but one of the purposes of the Let's Play is to show you not just how to get through a game, but to do it pretty well. Alright, yeah, he's going away. Now these guys have great range. Oops, just went out of distance. The only issue is that they are quite slow, so their tracking's significantly bad. Come on, can you get him? Okay, you can get him. That must mean that top red dot is sort of underwater. As soon as he slows down, he'll be in for a rush. The odd thing about this is even after they escape radar, technically this Guardian can still quote-unquote see it. And if it comes back into radar, he will attempt to do it again. Okay. We are getting significant amounts of other units. Oh, he just stopped. So he's getting pummeled. It'll take a few hits before he's actually down. And he's firing back, which is no good. Alright. Come on in. Repair. I don't want to lose that guy. Okay, my torpedoes are doing their job. Oh, as always, I mean, you were just assaulted in this map. Give me line of sight. I need line of sight. You. Attack. Okay. So while all this is happening... Oops, these guys are kind of in the back here. Come on, guys. You can do it. Once again, I'm pressing Control-Z to expand my reach to select all units of that type, all the Crusaders. Alright, I'm going to let him do that. And this guy's going to have to just start reclaiming massive amounts of metal. Alright, and now I'm going to build another radar tower. Doesn't have to be that close to this particular Guardian. Is my constructor... Okay, he is. Okay, pull back. Pull back, get out of there. Come on, let the Guardians do their job. Oh, nope, get out. Get out, get out, get out of there, get out of there. Okay, now that all this has happened, I'm going to have my commander come over here. As you can tell, they've already begun their bombardment, judging by this. Are you doing your job? Continue to do your job. Ouch. Yeah, he will continue to pummel the sides, always and forever. I'm gonna once again have him build have this particular constructor cable build a radar tower just off distance. Ouch! Get out of there, buddy. Okay. Okay. So we should actually be kind of good. Oops. Can you get him? Get him! Get him! Get this guy, get this guy, come on. And you, get out of there. Shoot. We have a number of units attacking that. How many? Okay. Just lost my constructor cable. I did not want that to happen. I'm actually going to need to build a new one. Because you need the metal, right? I mean, that's the bad part, is that you just need the metal. Your only goal here is to survive. I mean, that's it. You're just trying to survive here. Okay, he's able to reach that guy. Once again, even though you can't see him on radar, technically that unit can see it based off the way the programming works. I'm going to have him reclaim a lot of this metal and to repair this particular mine. Alright. Go back to building these guys. You come back here and start reclaiming metal. See, your commander is going to, use more metal than he can produce. But hopefully, if I can just mine most of this metal, I should be pretty good. You, attack. Can you attack? No, you can't. Alright, I'm going to tell them, tell that factory to move over here towards the mouth of the port and pull these guys forward. Alright, so we have a little bit of downtime to our next attack, and like I said, on most Let's Plays there is usually a little bit of commentary. And I want to talk about the homeless. Just a random topic. I've helped the homeless a lot. I mean, through taxes, I pay my taxes. I did a lot to help the homeless when I was in college. Just, I think about six times or so, helping out at a local soup kitchen type of thing. I give to my church, which helps the poor. And, it's funny because most of the poor that I encounter aren't native to that area. And it reminds me of a story I was told that during the 1996 Olympics, there you go, Atlanta just actually exported their homeless to Macon, Georgia, which is where I went to college. You doing good there, buddy? Alright. Claim him. And, it's kind of funny because the same thing, Macon has so many soup kitchens and such that people just send a lot of the homeless there. And the same is true for my church. People know my church in the area as being that church that'll help you pay the electric bill. So when a member or someone native to a different church or someone that comes up to the street says, hey, your church, can you help me pay my light bill? They say, no, we can't. Go to this church, which is my church. So, I mean, it's kind of funny that somehow my church got tasked with that. And in many ways, and this is a terrible analogy, but it's the only analogy I have, the homeless are like stray animals. If you feed them, they're yours. They're like stray cats. You can't say, "Is that cat yours?" No, but I feed it. Where if you feed it, I mean that's just the way cats work. If you feed it, it's kind of yours. Oh wow, there's a lot of unclaimed metal. Let's go ahead and get. I can only hold 13,000. This is going to be more than I need, but are you able to? Nope, still sonar. Okay, and so if you feed a cat, it's yours, and the same is true for the homeless. If you feed them, they're going to show up. And so when someone says, how can we cure homelessness? Well, I mean, there's an easy solution. Just don't feed them. And you're like, well, that's not a solution. To which I would say, you're right, it isn't. The main question we should be asking isn't how we can, quote unquote, I need to protect this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and go down here and see if I can't protect him. The main thing we should be asking isn't how we can solve homelessness. It's more like, how do we react to it, Because I think that's kind of an example of us, that's a reflection on us. How do we, as a people, treat those of us that can't fend for themselves for one reason or another? And many of them can't fend for themselves. Many of them are simply disabled. Unfortunately, I have a few people in my family that really can't hold down a job. I mean, it's just not something they can do. You may call them lazy or whatnot. You may call them disabled, which I would say is probably true. There's people walking by my window. I'm sorry if you picked that up with the mic. Anyway, and so I think the question should be, how do we treat the homeless? What should be our reaction? Because ultimately, I don't know this sounds... Oops, there's some guy coming from the left. Yep. We can fire at him. And he's firing at us. Come on, you can repair him. Don't let him die. Hopefully this guy should be a bit longer lived. Long enough to kill this guy. Radar identified object. Alright, we got him. Okay. But my constructor's almost dead. So, how do we treat the poor? Do we open up shelters? Here in Chattanooga, we have, lots of shelters that we use to help the poor. I've actually actually drove a homeless man to a restaurant just to feed him before. And, my heart goes out to them. What do we do when we find a homeless camp? Every once in a while, it turn out that the homeless have gathered at this one place or so. Where's my constructor cable? I thought I had him selected. And so the question becomes, what do you do when you find that they've somehow nested in one area? Oh, here comes another one. I fear that this may be the constructor K-Bot's last days. Anyway, what do you do when you find that they've all gathered in one area? Do you kick them out? Do you try to escort them to some other place? What's the solution to that? And once again, it's not about a solution, it's what are we as a people going to do about it. So, I guess that's all I'm trying to say, is that this should be enough units to survive to the end of the mission. It shouldn't be about what we do to solve it, it's what are we going to do as a people. What do you do when it's really hot outside, stupid cold or stupid hot? Should the city establish ordinances against panhandling? I don't know about that either. I will say this, and this is going to sound mean, I don't think panhandling is protected by the Constitution. To me, that's commercial speech. That's not expressing an opinion. And not everything is protected by free speech, right? I mean, trademark law, privacy. Your doctor can't go out in the street and say, hey, so-and-so was seeing me for depression last week. I mean, the right to free speech is true, but it's not an absolute right. There are stipulations. And, if you're a city that has homeless, what do you do when it turns out the homeless are asking tourists for money? To me, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I've had homeless people ask me for money all the time. It just doesn't bother me. But I remember when I was in Macon, someone from Warner Robins was visiting, I guess it was back in 2003 or so, and asked this visiting couple for money, and they were just creeped out. They were more than creeped out. They were offended. And I can see part of it's because they had a kid with them, but at the same time, I don't know. It seemed a little bit irrational to me, but I don't think it was even about safety. I think they were just obsessed. And I've certainly had homeless people that have harassed me. They just keep on following you around, and you say no, no, and they keep on following you. That can happen too. I've had that happen to me as well. But anyway, yeah, that's the question that I think we should ask. Not how to cure homelessness, but how do we treat it? Because the cure is easy, right? Ship them to another town, don't feed them, etc., and so forth. So you can see this island is actually more like a crescent. Almost looks like a mouth. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of units at the top here waiting to come down, and they were activated by trigger. You've seen that in some of the other missions I've played, where there would be a glut of units that you can't really detect. I mean, that you can't really, you don't really see until they attack you, but then you'll see they're just kind of lying idle in one place or another. I've been told there is a bug in this game. Oops. I guess I didn't realize one of my metal mines had been destroyed. In which case you destroy all the enemy units, but it won't let you pass unless the shipyard is constructed. So if you lose your shipyard, I think you may actually be prevented from winning this mission. Alright, I actually have a sizable amount of units. So I am just going to... I could wait till they come down, and they will here in a second, but I think it would be better to go ahead and assault them because I'm impatient. Anyway, those are my views on homelessness. It doesn't bother me. Here they come anyway. But the question is, what are we going to do as a civilized people? What are we going to do as a common people? I think it's kind of silly if people just get offended. But anyway, this is a missile frigate. They're pretty weak, but they have great distance. Naval units in Total Annihilation are glass cannons. They put out a lot of damage, but they're pretty weak. Alright, this should be the end of this mission once I get rid of this cohort. Yep, and that was the timpani that lets me know that was done. Alright, there's our commander on the beach. That's nice. Oddly enough, behind him are core units, not ARM units. But that's the ARM commander. I don't know what they're probably just assigned units after some of these rendered pictures were made. And we're done. Alright, this next mission is stupid. Stupidly difficult. I love this game. It's stupidly difficult. Alright. Well, thanks for joining me. Hope you don't mind me ranting about, specific political issues. But yeah, that mission is very difficult. Don't be surprised if you have to restart it a few times. Kind of what you do in a Let's Play is you make it look easy, because you want to show somebody the best way to do it. That's one of the reasons I play on medium difficulty. If you think it's difficult, remember, at any point in time, you can actually click on the next mission. Even if you get a thumbs down and lose, you can always go to the next mission. Anyway, have a nice night. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.